Good morning, everybody. What is going on? Do you decolorize hair or do you lift hair? What do you do when you're trying to make a highlight, a corrective, a hair lighter, client happy, yourself happy? What even is decolorizing? Let's start with that. Why don't you set the stage? This is all you this week. You love this topic.
No. Because allegedly you're mean to me, and I'm.
It's not allegedly. It's not allegedly, you big baby, you.
And whoever called Eddie and chewed him out for being mean to me, I love you. Thank you. Set the stage.
And I will continue to do so too. You can't stop me.
Yeah. We know. Let's set the stage with Luminae. Luminae is how do you put Luminae into words? They are lighteners and decolorizers. They have an array of products that you can use, from gently lifting hair to amazing lifting hair. And not only will it lift natural pigment, it'll also take care. It really does do a fantastic job on artificial pigment too. Depending on which product you're using. I am completely and totally obsessed with the charcoal lightener. I don't know if you guys can see this. How do I even start with the charcoal lightener? It is probably one of the best lighteners I've used, but the key is you have to mix it to what, Eddie? What are we mixing the charcoal lightener to? Manufacturer's directions.
Your desired consistency.
Okay.
You got to understand, when you're decolorizing hair, I mean, this is why the manufacturer directions really matter. You know, we talk about this all the time, and we can't reiterate this enough. Decolorizing versus lifting, which product is actually doing what action? You got to mix developer, you got to mix it with powder. So is the developer giving you the lift, or is it the powder giving you the lift? They're both doing something. Which one is doing the more of that something, and what is the something you're trying to accomplish? That's really what it comes down to. Developer by itself, yeah, it's going to give you some decolorization. It's going to give you some movement, but it's not going to give you lift in the way that you want it. Okay? And that's where it matters. When you mix too much developer or not enough developer, then you're not activating the powder, or you're diluting the hell out of the powder. Then you're not getting lift in the way that you want it. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not saying nothing is going to happen. Something's going to happen.
Right.
But
right.
That something that's going to happen is not what you want it to happen. That's the difference. That's what we're talking about.
Agreed. I'm not going to lie. I have been super busy running around, and on one occasion I was using the Luminae, the cream lightener that they have. And the first thing I didn't do, which I've read it 1,000 times, is it comes in a bag and you have to massage the bag a little bit, get it to a consistency, and also get everything in there. And then I did not mix it 2 parts developer to 1 part product. Mm-hmm. And I was doing some freehand work, and it was taking forever to lighten. This poor girl. Okay. Well, eventually what I did is then I went back in and I mixed up the powder lightener, just to refresh it. And it still didn't come out exactly the way I wanted it. She liked it. I didn't, because I wasn't on target. Because not mixing it correctly in the beginning left me a lot of unwanted warm tones. and she didn't want it. She liked it, but that's where we're at.
You got stuck in that orange?
Yeah, I mean, if it was Halloween, it would have been cool.
That orange. Why is that orange level the bane of all existence?
Because to get past that orange level, you got to have some Arnold Schwarzenegger type stuff. Okay. You know, I mean, you need that lightener bulldozer to getting to that level seems pretty quick, right? And then it just stalls, you know? And then you got to get through it, and you need something strong, and you need something that will also cover you on the back end, and that's why with the charcoal and all the what were we just talking about? How do you pronounce it? Butter that's in it.
Yeah.
Which I actually had to look it up. I thought it was made up. When I read that, I went, they're making this up. And I read it, and actually what it is it's an extract of palm tree seeds, and it's moisturizing. It is they use it for anti-frizz, and it is and it actually protects the keratin in the hair. So, okay. And that's why this stuff feels so amazing when you rinse it out, right? So yeah, there you go, guys. Moo butter. Maybe I can just head to toe with it.
Hey man, I feel good. Take the soreness away, more than anything else. Take the soreness away.
But I mean, truly, and that's a great question, Eddie. Do you decolorize or do you lighten?
I do both.
Do you?
It's situational. Yeah, sure. It's situational. Depends what you're trying to do.
Isn't that just saying the same thing?
I don't know. But to me, I interpret it as two different things.
See, I'm going to go the other side of that with you. Decolorizing, you're taking pigment out of the hair. Lightening hair, you're taking pigment out of the hair to make it lighter, correct?
Yeah, but are you necessarily decolorizing all the time to lighten hair?
Yes.
Well, you're not just trying to stay within tone and you're trying to go for horizontal. There's no scenario where you're just going for horizontal movement.
Technically, isn't that still lightening?
All right, well, if you're going to get me on the technicality on it, then you're right.
Technicality, get out of here.
I'm agreeing with you. You're correct. You're right.
Okay. What are the primary colors, Eddie? Eddie, what are the primary colors? Red, yellow, and green, right?
I wanted to make the RGB joke with you. It's red, yellow, blue.
Oh, is it blue? You always tell people it's green.
That's what I just said. I wanted to make the RGB joke with you. That's why I paused, because I wanted to say, anyways. All right, where are you going with this? Red, yellow, blue.
Okay. So, right. And to get brown, you need what?
Mix the primary colors in different ratios.
Right, but you need the primary colors, right?
Yeah, yes.
And what's a predominant color in dark colors?
Blue.
Correct.
Well, and then red, but yeah.
But
blue.
So when you remove the blue, we get that fun orange color, right? That we were just talking about.
When you're lifting, but what if you're just trying to stay within the blue realm? Then aren't you just decolorizing out some of the blue and maintaining the rest of it?
I don't understand then how if you're not gonna, if you're trying to, even with some horizontal movement, you're still lightening a little bit.
That's why I told you earlier. You got me on a technicality. I was interpreting. Okay, here I'll give you an example. Levels 1 through 4, blue. 5 through 7, red, and then 8, 9, and 10, yellow. Would you agree with that?
You want me to go get the handy dandy color book?
I hate
Yeah,
you.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
This is why I'm mean to you with that damn book of yours. So if I'm going out of level 4 and I'm going into level 5, now I'm breaking out of the blue realm, I'm going into the red realm where that's the primary color, where that lives. Then to me, I'm lifting through one barrier or one category into the next. But if I'm just trying to stay within those levels, yes, technically I'm lifting, but to me, I'm just decolorizing. I'm just reorganizing. I'm doing some spring cleaning, but I'm staying in my lane. That's the way I interpret it.
Okay. Well, I'm sure there's other people
And then
that
that would
interpret
work in, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and all those blondes.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's other people that agree with you. Okay, yeah, sure,
And then you're also decolorizing when you're using hair color.
absolutely.
So then you are lifting when you're doing hair color then by what you're saying as well.
You have ammonia and you have developer, and you are clearing out then to attach to put that artificial pigment in there and have it attached to the melanin that's still there or lack thereof. Correct.
Okay. So then if you're going to get me on a technicality, then decolorizing then is 100% corrective color. It is no longer lift in the way that I was interpreting it. Then that is a strip. That is a color remover soap cap at the shampoo bowl.
Right.
Then now you're decolorizing hair. You're not lifting hair. Now you're decolorizing hair. Because you're removing, you're just pulling out all color altogether.
Well, if you're like you said, though, if you're just doing it in degrees, but it's still, you say potato, I say potato. It's still the same thing.
When you're doing a color remover, that's still lift?
Sure. The hair's been previously lifted. You're pulling that color out.
Isn't that decolorizing it?
Isn't that lightening it too?
Are you perceiving lightening as the end result of the decolorization?
Yeah, until you tone
because
it.
if you've removed the color, if it's already light to begin with, and you've removed that color,
right?
Now you're just seeing the hair raw, and you got to replace it with something else.
Okay, so just for the sake of argument, let's we've fallen down a rabbit hole here, but that's okay. Here's the deal. Okay, so you have a client that comes in and maybe her hair grabbed the toner too much, and she's a level
scenario. Level what?
She's a level 9. I was going right there. She's a level 9 with the toner.
Level 9 with the toner. Okay.
Okay. So you pull that toner out. Okay.
Okay.
Then you're left with that toner gone, with pigment gone. She's been lightened already. There and now she's at a level 10.
Why
9
would she
to
be
10. Have we not lightened?
But why would she be a level 10? If you just pull the level 9 toner out, wouldn't she still be a level 9?
No, she was toned to a level 9.
If you were toned to a level 9, now you're a level 9.
Right. But originally you were lightened and then toned. So that hair was taken from a 10 back down to a 9. Yeah. Then you decolorize. You used a color remover. You used a shampoo cap, whatever, to get rid of that toner. She hated the toner. So now she's gone back from a 9 to a 10, right?
This is the crux of the problem, and this is where a lot of the confusion comes in. See, now we're hitting. Now this is the decision. This is what everybody gets wrong. No, I don't agree with you at all. So either you're playing me, or see, this is why you're the puppet master and all this stuff. If you highlight somebody to a level 10, and then you tone them down to a level 9, and you don't like that color, and now you have to remove that toner, you can never fully 100% remove that molecule from that hair. What you can do is you can shrink it down, you can make it smaller, you can extract majority of it, but you're going to have some residual pigment left over still. So this is why corrective color is such a pain of the butt. It's a complete balancing act. This is where you got to make decisions. That unwanted, in this example, that unwanted level 9, this is the choice you have to make. Because if you go to decolorize it, strip it, remove it, corrective color it, whatever, soap cap it at the shampoo bowl, whatever decision you're making, that's what I interpret as decolorization. You are shrinking down and getting rid of the majority, and the attempt is to try to remove all of it, but it's physically impossible to remove all of it. So this way you can make enough, because in that hair shaft, there's only so much space. So you got to replace it with something else, which is whatever the wanted target color is. Same scenario, you're at that level 9 and you're like, oh, no, this is not good. This is not what I want. I got to start all over. You would attempt to lift through that unwanted toner at level 9 to try to get it, reset it back to a level 10, because now you're just lifting out of that level altogether and you're going into the next level. It's going to have a whole new set of problems and porosity and blah, blah, blah. We're not talking about any of that stuff just yet. But now you're lifting out of that level 9 to get it back to a level 10 so you could start all over again. Now you've completely destroyed that level 9. You've completely removed all the mess of that level 9 that you're stuck in that you don't want.
So then,
does that make
so
sense?
Then,
How off base am I?
No, you're right. But we're lightening and decolorizing, as at least as far as I'm concerned. And I want to hear from anybody else who's out there with us. Lightening and decolorizing, and I get your point. I know exactly where you're coming from, but you're still ending up after that process at even if it's a half level, you're still ending up lighter than where you started, correct?
I don't agree. I think you've just shrunken the molecules down and you're seeing the raw level.
So it's lighter.
How is it lighter? You're saying perceived lighter?
Yes.
You're saying the color, but the level of the color is not lighter. The level of the color is still the same level.
If you've shrunk down the toner molecules, you're going to be lighter. In appearance.
Yes, okay? Yes, that is correct.
I agree with what you're saying. If you took a microscope and you looked inside the hair shaft, that color molecule is still there. It's just very small, correct?
Yes.
Okay. But for our purposes and for the purposes of the client looking at her hair, that hair is going to look lighter once you reduce that toner. Wait, but let me throw a caveat in there, because once again, this goes right into your statement of, it's corrective color, and then you open up a lot of doors. Okay, so unless she was only lightened to a level 9, and then they just used a toner, and the toner just changed the tonal value of it, then yes. But if she was like I said, my example was she was lightened up as light as they could get her to level 10, and then they toned her, and the toner just was not what it was looking for. They toned her down to a level 9. Then yes. But see, this is the cool part of what we do, because it's all very subjective, isn't it?
Well, this is why I'm not now. I'm all tuned in. Now I'm being serious. I'm not even gonna joke. I'm not even gonna make any games. Like now I'm questioning life.
Well, you do that the minute you wake up. But so really, if we talk about lightening, and we can go back and when you and I were just starting out, I mean, what, there were like five lighteners. No, they're bleach. There was bleach on the market.
Yeah, lighteners weren't even a thing yet. They were
all. I mean, freaking Rue Speed Bleach, man. And then the old do you remember the L'Oreal oil lightener that we used to do double processes with?
Yeah.
You know, and it was all about, I remember the lady that trained me, she told me, she goes, when you think you've reached the color, especially with double process, she goes, you're going to wait 10 more minutes.
Yeah.
You know, and then it was dealing with the porosity and all of that. But the whole point of this is you've got to bring that hair up to the level you want. Right? And you can't shortcut it like I was telling you about earlier when I didn't mix it correctly and I ended up spending an hour longer on that service than I should have. It's cool. It's cool, man, what we do. But I think we started out talking about Luminae. So tell me about some of your experiences with Luminae.
I think it comes down to, see, I think we're both right. Okay, you have charcoal lightener. Right. You have the Twilight, which is detoxifying lightener.
How cool is that stuff?
So this is where it starts getting complicated really quick. You know, I want lift. I want to lighten hair, right? The client has buildup or the client has previous color. And I know color doesn't lift color. Okay, fine. But then I got to use a lightener. But lightener, for some reason, this is what I get the calls a lot about. Lightener, for some reason, it works really good, really fast for the first 10, 15, 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden it gets stuck. And then it can't get past a certain level. So why does it say it can lift 5 levels, 7 levels, 9 levels, plus that even some of them? But then it always gets stuck at level 8, level 9. And it's like, okay, what are you trying to do? Like, there is a reason the worst phone call I get is, I've been doing hair for this many years and I've always done it and it's always worked and I don't have time. I'm booked. I'm busy. I'm not going to change what I'm doing. Why isn't the product working the way I want it to work? It's like, okay, but you're doing the same thing on every single client and every single client is a different scenario.
Right.
This is the biggest problem, you know? So yeah, if you keep doing the same exact thing on everybody, 60% of the time you're going to succeed. 40% of the time you're going to fail. And I'm being generous giving a 60-40 split. What stylists don't realize is they're going under the 80-20 rule. Because even the fails, even that 40% failure rate is passable half the time. So they're just splitting the difference and putting that into a win column.
Right.
And they're going with 80-20. 80% of the time I do something, it's, 8 out of 10 times it's right. Only 1 or 2 clients are messed up. No, there's a lot more clients that are messed up. You just don't pay attention until the one client that gets messed up is the pain in the butt client who yells at you. Now you're freaking out. Okay.
Right.
When you mix your lightener, it's only going to live for X amount of time. That X amount of time is not a guarantee because it depends on how you mixed it with the developer. There are too many stylists that don't measure with a scale properly. And even when they do measure with a scale, I put, an extra gram of powder. I squeezed out a couple of extra grams of developer. It'll be fine. And it's like, the best example I can give is baking. If you ever make biscottis or if you ever make cookies, okay, if you're a baker, if you're trying to make a cake, like, it's the difference between it being thicker or being runny. or just being just right, the whole Goldilocks.
Right.
And that's what we're doing when we're highlighting. We're playing Goldilocks. You got to get it just right. Not too thin, not too thick, But then after you've mixed it, you got to get it on the hair. So many stylists will mix a big bowl, 2-3 ounces of product because they don't want to go back to get more. If it's taking you 20-30 minutes to do an application and your lightener can only live, 20 to 40 minutes in total, excuse me, depending on how you mixed it, on the consistency.
You're looking at about 40 minutes.
So if you spent the bulk majority of that 40 minutes applying it, by the time you get to the last foil, that is the weakest strength, and it's not going to live for that much longer. And generally speaking, I'm generalizing, but usually we start from the back or we start from the bottom and we work our way up. Very few stylists start applying at the top of the head and work their way down because it's a pain in the butt to do that. It's just more organized to start down and work your way up. Again, the problem is by the time you get to that last foil, and the last foil is usually the one right there in the hairline.
Yes, it is.
Freaking thing doesn't, and that's only going to process and be, work for 10 minutes, maybe 20. That's why you're only getting half your freaking lift. It's why you're proverbially always stuck in that stupid level 8, that brassy crap. It's annoying. It's so freaking annoying.
Well, what if you put them under the dryer?
There's dryers, there's accelerators, there's lamps, there's all these additives that we end up starting to do. Some people will go in and they'll just squirt in a little extra developer to try to reactivate it, to give it a little more lift. To think like that's the whole concepts and the ideas, right? The solution is to just go mix a fresh bowl for right there. But it is so annoying when you are in your zone, when you're in your groove and you're working and you're going and you're going and you're going, to stop the momentum and walk away to go mix more just to come back. It completely throws off the momentum altogether. Worse than that, and I do this a lot. The client will be in the middle of a story. And unfortunately, sometimes it's at the good part or the vulnerable part. Sometimes they go a little deep with what they're sharing with you, right? And then you got to sit there and play Mr. Therapist. Ooh, great breakthrough. You're having a great cry, but time's up. I'll see you next week. Like the old adage of how they say about that, we'll pick up where we left off. It's like, I got to walk away for a minute. I'll be right back. The client is now like the whole momentum of everything gets thrown off. Okay. It's rough. It's hard. It's really, really hard. The additives that you're doing, the lights that you're using, the heat sources, any whatever manipulation thing you're trying to do to get to squeeze that last couple of levels of lift out of something that is, you're trying to revive something that's dead. Like you see those ER shows or the house, whatever, the medical shows, call it. You got to call it. It's a terrible feeling. It's a terrible situation to be in. Now you got a freaking corrective on your own hand. You're in the middle of what started off as a standard highlight service and everybody's having a good time. And you have now devolved into a hot mess of a color corrective situation of your own making. It's the worst feeling ever. And then what do? Do you go grab more color? Do you just start lifting with color? Do you go back and mix more powder? Do you mix the same powder, same developer? Do you mix a different developer? Do you use a whole nother powder product altogether, a lightener product altogether? Like you start off with the Twilight and then you move on to charcoal? Like what?
Yeah.
Where do you go? Where do you go?
Why not?
Because people freak out. Because, okay, if I started the whole head with Twilight and I only got this section left and I finish it with charcoal, isn't that going to give me 2 different results? And then the client's going to notice because they have Superman vision. They have like X-ray vision.
You're the professional.
Am I? I don't feel
You
so
are
professional right now, do
Not
I?
only are you a therapist, you're a hair professional.
And how
And
does
it's up
that
to
help
you.
me right now?
That it's up to you to make that call of, okay, it's taken me 45 minutes to get to here.
Yeah.
I've got another, however long it takes you to do the halo, right?
Yeah.
So why would you not make that call to, okay, I know this stuff is processing, it's slowing down. What I've got in my bowl is not going to give me the lift that's back here, up here. Right? So why not shift gears a little bit, amp it up a little bit, and switch up the product?
I know why.
Why?
What is that called? What is that brain fog called? When you're in the moment, and everything turns off. You cannot think straight. You have, when I call you, I tell you I'm having a brain fart.
You're Eddie Ohanian.
Yeah, exactly.
It's called the Eddie Ohanian.
Okay. When you're knee deep in it and you're on time, or the worst is when you're running behind and you're trying to catch up. But even when you're running on time, and like I says, your whole momentum is going this way, this direction. To stop that shift, sometimes your brain just clicks off and you can't make those logical decisions or those reasonable decisions. What are they called? Professional or not, like experience or not, in charge of making decisions or not. Sometimes you're just on autopilot, not because you want to be. It's just you can't. You got the blinders on.
Right. I get it.
You see past it. You're too close in it. So then what do you do then? How do you get yourself out of that?
Now, the old me, young me, would have done just like you said earlier. I would have grabbed that bowl, ran him back real quick, and splashed some 40 volume in there to boost it up and come back out. Okay? The experienced me now realizes that this person sitting in my chair is paying me top dollar to get this service. Okay. So I have to slow my happy self down and give her the service that she is paying for and do it the right way and not cut corners. And you know what? What I found out later in life, because I used to be obsessed with running on time.
You were.
It was, huh?
You were.
I was obsessed with running on time. And now the older me, next client comes in, and actually, you freaking taught me this about 15 years ago. The client comes in, hey, Susie, you know what? I'm in the weeds a little bit here. Why don't you go grab a cup of coffee, go to the bathroom, do whatever you got to do. We're going to be a couple minutes. Come sit down right here. And by the way, this is Nancy in my chair. So she comes back with her cup of coffee after she went to the bathroom, and they start chit-chatting. And it's so funny how 90% of your clients will just come in and sit and chit and chat. And they're okay with the fact that you're running on time because they're making a new friend or they're just talking.
Behind. So You know what I did on Saturday? I turned my next client into my assistant. I'm sitting here doing the foil. And I'm like, oh, come on over. And she's standing there. She's like, oh, yeah, what's going on? I'm like, introduce, right? I'm like, so I'm sitting there. I ran out of foil. So I got the fresh stack, and you got to separate the damn things. So I separate the first couple of them, and then I hand her the rest of the stack.
And she's handed up to you?
And I start foiling. So she separates a couple of foils. She finished the stack. She separated the whole stack for me. So now she's still standing there. I'm still running behind a little bit. I'm almost done. And I'm like, man, I'm thirsty, man. Do you want a cup? You want to fix a cup of something? I'm like, what can I do to convince you to fix me up a cup of something? a cup of tea, cup of coffee, cup of something. She goes, oh no, I'll do it for you. That's fine. What do you do? You want sugar? You love your sugar, right? Totally turned her into an assistant. And then the client that I just finished, when she stood up, I didn't tell her to go sit down. I made her stand next to me. I turned her into an assistant because they were still talking to each other.
Right.
And then after about a couple of minutes, she realized what I'm doing to her. And she's like, you don't pay me for this. I pay you. And then she sat down. We had a laugh. I caught up, whatever.
Right. But I think that just to come full circle on all this, I think the fact that we have the tools, the lightening and or decolorizing tools, however you want to look at it, at our disposal, the amazing amount is awesome. I think it's huge. And I think especially since you and I really started playing with Luminae, that they pretty much have a decolorizing / lightening tool for almost every occasion that you might need one. Like I said, the cream is awesome. The Eclipse, the charcoal lightener, talk about on tone. Really. The Twilight, which is great, and Twilight is the detoxifying one where it pulls out all the toxifying agents in the hair, leaves the hair, and tell everybody that has not experienced this, what is the rinsing like of these products?
When you get clean lift, like when you get to the level you want and you get that clean lift, when you mix that ratio correctly, everything has worked as intended. You've hit your target. When you go to rinse this out, the water by itself is enough to just pull everything off the head. You do have to shampoo to neutralize everything, but in essence, you almost don't even have to shampoo. That's how clean everything rinses out, So then when you're making those decisions to lift, to decolorize, to use the charcoal, to use the detoxifying, which scenarios, like let's paint the picture real quick. Which scenarios works for what?
That you know what? That is a great idea. Hold on. Let me bring up the list here.
Bring up the list. I'll throw a couple of scenarios at you because these are the general thing, at least my clients, this is the general things that walk in and this is who sits in the chair. Client comes in and she says, I ain't washed my hair in a week or in a couple of days because I knew I was coming to see you. Dirty hair, takes color better. You have clients that say that to you
all the time.
So
now that's the old wives' tale. But actually, what it was is back in the day, like when our moms were getting their hair colored, the ammonia content in the hair color, they needed that dirt and oil on their scalp just to keep it from blistering. So run the scenario by me again because I went sideways.
So it's funny how that has carried over to every generation ever.
Right.
So the buildup. So there's buildup onto the hair. So the client sits down. You're going to highlight. What you should do is take the client back to the shampoo bowl, clarify. Shampoo, towel dry, bring them back. Apply it on clean, freshly washed, towel dried, hair. You decide not to do that. You're going to cut that corner. So now, what do you go for? If your option is white powder lightener, blue powder lightener, detoxifying lightener, or charcoal lightener. So let's paint the picture with 4 options.
Okay. Right? Am I highlighting or am I highlighting or balayage?
Okay. Let's go. Highlighting is. We are teaching so many freaking classes. Every highlighting class that we have is sold out right now. I'm adding more dates for highlighting. Foiling right now is going nuts.
It's big. It's coming back.
To hell with it. Let's do it both. Okay, do foiling first, then do balayage. Of those four options, which one, if not all, apply?
I would either use the detoxifying, which is Twilight. I would either use Twilight, or my first instinct would be to grab the charcoal lightener.
Why?
Because the charcoal lightener with the charcoal also pulls out impurities. But I would probably the Twilight, then let me change that. Twilight, then the charcoal lightener. Okay.
So the Twilight, because it's detoxifying, it's going to break through all that buildup. So you should brush their hair out as much as you can. Try to use the brush to break up some of that buildup on the hair.
Right.
Then
and since you're highlighting, you can go ahead and give them a vigorous brushing. Nothing's going to get on their scalp. And then with the Twilight, the Twilight would be detoxifying. It would get all that crap out of their hair and give you a nice clean palette to lighten. Absolutely.
So I'll agree with that one. I think the Twilight would be the better choice under that scenario. So now next client comes in. This client, hair is fine. It's not dirty, it's clean enough. Let's just say it that way. Same scenario. You are not going to do the proper procedure. You're going to cut that corner. You're not going to prep. So she sits down. Now, this one is an angel. She's got all those halo bands going through her hair. So she's got outgrowth. She's got a dark ring. And then she's got lighter ends. So of those four options. Oh, back up a second. Balayaging under the same dirty client that hasn't washed her hair in a couple of days, almost a week. We forgot the balayage.
You could, you know what? I would use the Twilight with the blue developer.
Twilight with blue developer. I'm going to go with any of all four: the white, the blue, the Twilight, the charcoal, because balayaging is subjective as well too. How light are you really going, and how much contrast and variation are you trying to achieve? So I think any of the four would work.
I get, I'll agree with that. But
ends, we're talking mid-shaft to ends.
What's that?
We're talking about balayaging mid-shaft to ends.
Yeah, mid-shaft to ends. And you know what? The Blue Moon developers, I love them too, because they're just giving you that extra blue. And especially if you're balayaging, then I would probably do the 40 with it then too.
Okay. So now the client comes in, she's got the halo band. She's a little angel. What are you going with for that one?
I grab my clipper.
You wish. That's something I would say and do.
It's fully charged. Mm-hmm. We'll start with the 0.5 guard and then
and then go down to a 000. Call it a day.
You know what? It would be the Eclipse, definitely.
You're going charcoal all the way on this.
Yeah, one. Absolutely. And I'm bringing it as even as I possibly can.
Okay. Most people use white or blue lighteners.
Right.
So if somebody's not going to use charcoal, I agree with you. Charcoal is the best way to go under that scenario.
Right. Or the blue. If I were using just the other two, then I would use the blue lightener.
The blue over the white.
Yeah.
You're trying to get a little bit more consistency in the lift.
Exactly.
The different variations of tonal values that are
especially like you said, she's got halo. She's got a couple halos. Then definitely the blue lightener. And then, but you know what? I grew up with white lightener. White lightener works too. White lightener works just as, maybe you got to take a little more time with it because you're not getting that toning effect of the blue, or with white lightener, you can actually amp up the volume of developer.
Why isn't white lightener stronger than blue anyways?
Nope. I'm not arguing with you about that. I'm not talking about how strong it is. I'm talking about what it's toning out. You son of a
ask that question so often. They're all the same strength.
It's all it's just the tone, Go ahead.
Oh, I didn't want to interrupt you.
No. It's good.
Okay. So next scenario. Client comes in. She doesn't have build up. She doesn't have the halos. Her color is pretty even. Yeah. She wants, but her porosity is off. Because that's something we get a lot as well.
Mm-hmm.
So now what? White, blue, twilight, charcoal, detoxifying. I said twilight, I meant detoxifying.
Ooh.
And you're going to skip all the prep stuff. You're not going to pH balance. You're not going to spray any protonizer to restructure her hair a little bit. You're not going to put any contact spray on. You're not going to clarify first. You're not going to do anything. You're just brushing your hair out and you're going straight to foils.
I'm going to use the Eclipse.
Oh, you're going charcoal.
I'm going charcoal because of also the moisturizing additives that are in it. That's going to help us with that porosity.
So, okay. I'm spoiled. So yes, the Luminae brand has toners built into it. It's got, essential oils. It's got conditioning agents built into it.
Yeah.
You know what? I would go with all four of them because Spotlight has that as well, and that's standard blue lightener.
And then they have the clay lightener.
They got the clay. They got the twilight. The detoxifying automatically by default will work, just because it's for buildup. Even if there isn't any buildup, then it's still going to work. So I think all of the above would work in this scenario.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to toss up between the Spotlight, which is the blue, and maybe the charcoal in this case. But I'm probably going to lean. My first reaction was to go for the blue one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then, last scenario. No buildup. Color is even. Let's say porosity. Oh, last two scenarios. No buildup. Porosity is even. No color banding. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thin hair, soft hair, fine hair versus thicker hair, coarser hair, resistant hair, however you want to refer to it as.
I'm going to go with all of the above. Any one of them will work as long as you wait. I got to add my caveat to this. As long as your application and you're getting complete saturation.
Okay.
So yes, all four.
I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to piggyback and add in, dictate the texture of the hair and the density of the hair to what developer is appropriate for that texture and density. So on thinner, finer hair, you want
20.
Lower developer.
Yeah, lower developer.
And then on thicker, coarser hair, you may, and it's okay to use stronger developer, higher developer.
Absolutely. I have a story real quick to go with that because I know we're running out of time here. 2 doors down from me is an Asian lady. She's awesome haircut. Awesome. But she did a lightening service and she's mainly her clientele is Asian. And she did a lightning service and went to that orange stage.
Okay.
And I asked her what her formula was. And she used a lightener and she only used 20 volume on this thick, coarse, awesome. I mean, the cuticle was so compact on this hair. And I told her, I said, you've got to go back in. You've got to amp up your the volume of peroxide. And she's like, oh no, they told me never use anything more than 20. I'm like, who told you that? So you can change your developers, guys. You absolutely can. 20 volume is not the magic number for everything. And I know you and I beat this to death every week almost.
A good way I've been discussing. So when somebody comes and says, I was taught to only ever use nothing more than 20 volume, 30, 40 is the kiss of death, right? I change the conversation slightly. We're still having the same conversation. The percentage strength of peroxide, 3%, 6%, 9%, 12%, is 10, 20, 30, 40. If I say to you, if the client has thicker, coarser, resistant hair, does it not make sense then that you would need a stronger strength of peroxide to bust through that?
Right.
If standard is 3 to 6, then don't you need a little stronger than standard, 9, possibly 12? And then all of a sudden the stylist starts becoming reasonable about the conversation. They're like, yeah, okay, I see where you're going with this. Yes. Okay. Conversely, the opposite, I'm using, 20 volume. It's I'm getting too much lift. It's getting too brassy. It's getting to this. It's getting to that. And then you realize and find out the client's got thin, fine hair. Okay. You're using 6%. For that type of hair, maybe it's too strong. Wouldn't it be more gentle, use 3%? They're like, right. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Use half the amount. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So now you're telling them, okay, you just agreed that on thicker, coarser hair, it's okay to use 30, 40 volume developer. Well, no, I didn't. You just said 9%, 12% is more than standard, 3 to 6. It's okay in those scenarios. Oh. Or conversely, you're getting too much brass. You're using 6%. Use 3%. You just agree 10 volume will still work. I can't tell you how many times somebody calls it, I can't use 10 volume with my lightener. I won't get any lift. The thought process of how hair color works versus how lightener works have become so jumbled up together. They're not synonymous of each other. They're completely two different animals altogether.
Agreed.
You got to treat it as such. You got to treat it as such. So
yeah, I agree. I agree with that 100%. And we're coming to the close here. You and I both have to go to work.
And then I have an announcement to make then.
Make an announcement.
I'm coming up with dates for April, May, and June for our next round of hair color classes. Go to HEBbeauty.com. Put down what class you want. There's a form under our education page. Fill out the form and let us know which one you want. That becomes your waiting list. Soon as we get dates put together, we will reach out and contact you first to make sure you have a spot. A lot of our programs are hands-on, and a lot of our programs by design are smaller attendance numbers, so we can really have the interaction and the conversation. Okay. We were just in Downers Grove. We just had 50 people over there. We have 50 to 100 person classes all the time. But every month we purposefully schedule smaller, intimate setting, audiences. So this way we could really get that one-on-one interaction and have that one-on-one conversations with you. Go to HEBbeauty.com, go to the education page, fill out the waiting list form, get yourself on there, because these classes sell out. They fill up so freaking fast. It's insane. All right. With that said, thank you, John, for teaching me something today. So the decolorizing and lifting is not the same, or maybe it still is, and I just didn't know it, or I'm not defining it correctly. Give us a comment. Let us know what you guys agree, disagree. Go out there and make a difference, one client at a time.
Next week, guys.
The SFTB podcast was not recorded in front of a live studio audience, so thanks for joining us for today's episode. If our hair topics made you smile, give us a thumbs up. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'll read them while waiting for our color to process. Share this video with your stylists and friends. It helps us make a difference. one strand at a time. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Because your hair deserves all the latest and greatest tips.